House to the Penthouse podcast. Stories of addiction and recovery. The lie is dead. We do recover.
Hey, I was jamming out. I forgot what we were doing, man.
Oh,
Seriously,
yeah.
like, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of From the Big House to the Penthouse,
Get out.
Stories of Addiction and Recovery. As always, your host is Ricky Cruz.
My co-host Raul Moreno.
Ricky.
Raul, boy, what's up, baby? What's happening, man?
What's going on?
Shoot, man, it's all you.
You
It's
doing-
all you. What'd you
Yeah?
do this weekend, man?
Man, you know what I did?
Man, if you tell me you sat at home, I'm gonna.
I didn't.
Beep. And did we ever get the beeping thing back? No,
Yeah,
no.
yeah,
We got the
it
little
back. We
beeping
got
button
it
back.
Yeah.
No, you had deleted it for a little bit.
I
huh?
didn't because I was trying to mess with it and figure different things out. But what I did
Oh,
this
yeah?
weekend, what did I do?
What'd you do?
I went to a political thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to meet the governor of Texas.
I saw that, man.
Lieutenant Governor
Yeah.
of Texas and a lot of other people. Man.
I
It
saw
was-
that. What was that at? That was some kind of
Um,
rally,
it was in
right? Some kind
Montgomery.
of Montgomery
A
County.
Republican rally.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. It
Oh.
was definitely awesome, man. I got to.
Is that here in
experience-
town?
Nah. This was in Montgomery. Yeah, it was about an hour, 30 minutes
Yeah?
away, something like that.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Yeah, I saw
But
that. I
we
said,
had-
old Raul's are rubbing shoulders, man. That's all right,
hey,
man.
I,
I was
sat-
glad to see you out of the apartment for the weekend.
Sitting right next to me was the Lieutenant Governor of Texas.
Oh, yeah?
I was front row,
Uh-huh.
and like I could throw a rock and hit the person that was speaking.
Oh, yeah?
I don't want to say because I don't want to.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but hey, man. So, and what did I do?
What did you do?
What did I do, man? You know what, man? I actually did. I didn't. You know what? I went and my wife and I visited a couple of different restaurants up in Houston. Man, it was
Yeah.
fun. Oh yeah. I did almost nothing but eat.
Man,
That's it.
you still on the no meat?
I'm still on it, man. 18 months. Oh, let's see. Let me see.
I did the no meat, and I thought I was going to die for a minute. You know,
Huh?
I did the no meat for a little bit, thinking I could do it.
Oh
And
yeah.
I almost died. I
Oh
swear.
man.
I did. I was like 3 days in, and I started seeing things. And
Oh,
I was like,
no,
"Are
man.
you okay?"
Yeah, I know, right?
I'm
Yeah.
serious. Your body really starts to.
It talks to you.
Well, yeah, because it's
It talks
used
to
to
you.
it, and you
Uh-huh.
see the protein. And if you really come at it trying to kick meat and thinking you can just like, oh, I'm Iron Man, and no, it'll bring you to your knees and make you
Man.
make-
Well,
you know.
shit, it didn't do that to me, man,
Oh,
because I've
man.
got 18 months into it.
Well, I've never had a salad my whole life,
Yeah.
and I don't eat.
Yeah.
Greens.
I don't eat salads either.
Yeah, I don't eat anything.
I'm not on a diet.
I'm all meat.
Hey,
you know?
some people say, "Hey, how's that diet going, man?" And I'm like, "I'm not on a diet.
What are you
I'm not
trying
on
to-
a
what are you trying to say?
Huh? I'm not on a diet.
I'm on the
Hey,
seafood
I
diet.
just, no. I just eat normal food.
Yeah,
I
seafood,
eat.
you eat
Yeah.
it, you know?
Yeah.
Seafood diet.
So it was for this guy at a function. You know, I was at a fundraiser too last week during the week, and this guy, one of my friends that he's a client. I saw him there, and he's like, his name is Keith. We leave his last name out of it, but he says, "Hey man, how's that diet going?" I said, "What? I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not on a diet." He goes,
Yeah.
"Aren't you vegan?" I was
I was
like,
like,
"I
you know-
am, but I'm not on a diet." You know what I mean?
Here's a
But,
fact about Latinos. Let me tell this to the whole world.
Yeah.
We don't diet.
Yeah.
We try to.
Man.
Yeah.
We blog about it. We say about it, but we're Latinos. We don't.
Who?
By
Hey,
the way, hey, you've got a special guest.
yeah,
I will
we
introduce
do,
him.
We do got a special guest. This
Yeah.
is
Tell us.
man, me and him go way back, and we went to school together.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Detention.
No,
Yeah,
actually, we're
no
really-
detention.
We were really good kids in school, actually. Raul was heavily
Is it
into
hard to
j-
believe?
Yeah.
It's a little hard to
You
believe.
know, hey, we all
Come
have
on,
a
man.
we all have a starting point.
Well,
Yeah.
Bruce Gonzalez
Hey,
is
how you
our
doing?
guest today.
You know,
Okay.
Bruce Lee by choice.
Yeah,
Not by choice,
man.
but,
So, hey, Bruce, man, tell us a little bit about yourself, bro.
you know, I came from Pearland. You know, I got 5 brothers. Have a great family background. 2 of my older brothers, you know, were heavily, in the game at one point, and that's all I knew really growing up. We had a great, mom and dad. My mom was, when she left my real dad, we slept in a car for a while, and so her perseverance came from, me growing up. She went from that to owning her own construction company, and seeing that, it really, as a child for me, I wanted to be the best I really could be, and seeing 2 older brothers not going down the path that they should have at the time. I really wanted to be that model kid, you know.
Mhm.
I was a great kid in school. Really didn't get out of trouble, and I mean get into trouble. And me and Rob, we saw each other here and there. And you know, one thing I like to do back in the day was Pearland was really racist back then.
Mhm.
And I tried to bring a lot of people together. And I threw a lot of house parties. And my parents watching probably. He's gonna have a couple words with me when I see this, but
You gonna have a couple of what?
house parties, you know.
Uh-huh.
But I guess my first experience with drugs and alcohol.
So at your house parties, you had all kinds. You had blacks, whites, Chinese,
everybody. Well,
right?
because
There
back
you
then,
go.
back then you had your preps, you had your kickers, you had
Uh-huh.
you know.
Well, you still do.
Yeah. So, but back then it was
Yeah.
majority white.
Yeah.
I mean, put it this way: when I first moved into Pearland, they put me in the ESL speaking Spanish only class because they thought I only spoke Spanish.
Uh-huh.
And so halfway through the year, I'm failing, and they're like, "Hey, man, why are you failing?" And I'm like, "Mom, I don't know what she's saying."
¿Qué?
Yeah. So
¿Qué?
yeah. So I had to redo the years. So
Uh-huh.
I mean, I know both classes, class of 2000, class of 2001,
Uh-huh.
and also I grew up on both sides of Pearland. As my you know, my mom met my stepdad, who's a great guy. They came up and they bought a house on the I guess west side.
So let me, if you don't mind me, I'm going to interrupt you real
Come
quick,
on.
man. So what happened? You said, and I'm not going to try to get too personal, but I am. But no, I'm joking. I'm joking. What happened between your mother and your dad, if you don't mind me asking? Was it
My real
something
dad?
that? Yeah, your father.
My real dad.
Because they were. You said they were married, and then all of a sudden you said something about your mom having
Yeah,
a concrete or
yeah,
concrete company or a construction company.
She has a construction.
She on her own.
On her own. And
Yeah.
check this out, man. This is the kind of woman she is. And anyone who meets my mom knows that and they'll say that how inspiring she is. So my real dad would beat her until she couldn't stand.
Mhm.
And after he beat her, he'd come down to my older brother and he'd break her nose. He broke his nose by the time he was 6. Like,
Mhm.
I mean, just pure, I called it sober chaos because he did it soberly.
Mhm.
At least from my understanding, there was no drugs and alcohol involved. So he would viciously beat us. And by the time he got to me, either he was worn out or I'd get the least of it. So my brothers really hated me because I didn't take that blunt that they did.
Mhm.
And which led them to the hard life that they lived for a while. Now my older brother now is very successful. He's in the chemical plants, a very great guy. My oldest has passed away.
Mhm.
But
I'm sorry to hear that.
yeah, he died last year.
Your sister?
My oldest brother.
Your oldest
I got
brother.
there's 6 of us total. 6
Okay.
boys.
Right.
6 boys.
Mhm.
And so my mom took us and just left. I remember middle of the night, and it was me, my younger brother, and my older brother.
So you had trauma early on when you were a young guy.
I did, but
Family trauma, yeah.
But my mom really came through to where it didn't seem that way.
Mhm.
No matter what we did, she persevered to where she was that beacon, that light of hope that really
Right,
just
right.
made you like not stressed back then.
Right.
And it was incredible. And from there, she went to she started in the chemical plants, and she became a master electrician. And in '89, she started her company with 2 girls, and now she's nationwide. My aunt's in it too. Both of them are probably self-made millionaires.
Mhm.
You know, they overcame it. You know, my stepdad played major league or professional ball at one point. He's like a legend in his hometown from playing sports.
Mhm.
And meeting him, he really showed me what sports was about.
Mhm.
You know, showed me a different way.
Mhm.
And seeing my older brothers, 2 older brothers, you know, they followed each other into that road of what they knew.
Mhm.
It wasn't until after school, my first marriage, where I started getting into drugs.
Mhm.
Um,
How did that start?
well, my first wife was she put it this way.
You mean you didn't try drugs until after you were married?
Well, I guess let's go back to high school real quick.
Yeah. Let's
okay,
listen.
so-
What I want to know, Bruce, if you don't mind,
I
I want to know the first time that
about
you
to
were
tell you.
introduced to it, right?
Yeah. So okay.
Yeah.
So this is how drugs and alcohol can really affect your life so young. And this is to a lot of parents out there who let their kids who want to be the cool parent. You know,
Mhm.
my parents were great parents, and at the same time they're very lax at moments of what we did
Mhm.
because they knew that they were never home. But at this so I threw this major house party, right, and it lasted for like 2 weeks long. And you're like, whoa, what?
How old were you?
17.
Okay,
You
you were
know?
living at home,
Yeah.
and your parents allowed to
Well,
you to
it
have
was about a week.
two-
It was about a week long. You know,
Okay.
but they went on vacation.
Oh, they were gone.
And,
Okay.
we had housekeepers growing up a
Uh-huh,
lot. You know, put it this way: my brother named our kid one of his kids after our housekeeper.
Mhm.
You know, but like I said, it was we had a great time. And the last 2 nights, we cleaned up the whole house and we went to Clear Lake Clubhouse to party and stuff and make sure everything was nice. Well, when I go upstairs, the people I was hanging out with, they invite this girl in, they get her drunk. These 2 girls are 14 years old. They both almost died of alcohol poisoning. And they were found in the street, almost hit by a car, ran over by a car, and they almost died. And their stomachs were being pumped. And I'm arrested with, even though I was upstairs, have no idea, no recollection of them even being in my house. I'm still charged as a minor. My house, my liquor. For all you parents out there who want to be the cool parent, your house, your liquor, you will be charged, just like an establishment.
But in this case, your parents weren't even home.
It's my responsibility.
No, right. But you were 17.
17.
At your parents' house.
Rolling into 18, it was my senior year party going off to college type thing. You know what I mean? Right. And my parents didn't know the party was going on and everything, but they asked me when they came down to get me out of jail, it was a $200,000 bond. They said, "Did you know it?" And I said, "No, I didn't know anything about it." One of the girls now to this day, she's like my sister. I was in her wedding, and I told, they know I had nothing to do with it. But that's how early alcohol and drugs impacted my life.
Sure.
So to this day, if I go on an interview or a job interview, people see that 2 counts of
it's on your record.
It's on my record. Yeah. Now it doesn't show as a conviction,
right?
But it shows an arrest.
Sure.
And employers, when they pull your background, they see that. They see that instantly. I had people who would call establishments where I work and they would tell them not to hire me because of stuff like that. And I was like, man, if you only knew the backstory behind it. But drugs and alcohol, shortly after that, I mean, actually before that event happened, my prom night, me and my best friend, we go to, this is my first time experience with weed. We go pick up some weed for college, for the beach house, our prom night. This is my first time in like really with weed and violence. We go to my brother's trap house and right there on behind the Ritz at the Indigo Falls. And we're sitting there and the guy on the couch, and the first guy, he gets killed. We answer the door because there's a robbery was taking place. We almost get shot. At the end of the night, 2 people were murdered in front of us. My brother, another guy was shot, and we're just covered in blood. And we're just like, we're here just to pick up a dime bag. Something so simple, so innocent, just as you're thinking as a college kid, and you kids out there or anybody out there who's like, weed is a gateway, and it's not. And it's not about, sometimes weed isn't the gateway, but it opens up gateways to other stuff to happen, to open up other channels of violence to happen in your life. It may not introduce you to other drugs, but it's a gateway to other things. And it can be, sadly, even if you don't want it to happen. But that was, and then we show up back up to the beach house party. I mean, it was all over the news. It was this years ago, L1. And, but we show back up and nobody had a clue what happened. Probably to this day, people who were watching, who were at that beach house party, like you'll be surprised. Like there are some, like that just happened. My brother was like, "Y'all need to leave, like before anybody shows up or whatever." And, but that was my first interaction with drugs back then. And it really was like, oh shit. And then my daughter was born, and I was doing great for a long time. I really fell in love with being a dad. Some bad things happened to someone really close to me, and I wasn't strong enough to take it. And
so if you, I don't mean to interrupt you. So you said you had a daughter. I skipped a whole paragraph. We skipped a whole page there. What did you meet about? You meet someone? You fell in love?
Yeah, I fell in love with this beautiful woman from Nebraska. Blue-eyed, blonde-haired devil.
How'd you meet her?
It's a long story. We'll get to another day. But she was like I said, blue eyes, blonde hair, she was the most beautiful woman I've ever seen in my life. Probably to this day, one of the most still beautiful women I've ever seen, no matter what happened. We were married 13 years. But she was never, she had trauma happen to her that I didn't know about. She was a different person that I never knew who she was. She was on drugs too. But we were both successful people at the moment, and we both put all that we kind of like sowed our oats when we were young. So we were never like, we weren't about that. We've been there, we've done that. Both of us at that moment, that's how we were. I mean, it was no longer glamorous to us, She was cheating on me from the jump. She cheated on me on my wedding night in Cabo San Lucas, where my mama caught her. It if some of y'all saying, why did you stay? You know, which is true. We subject ourselves to that. Part of being an addict.
We are both on drugs. We are both smoking weed.
No.
No?
This is worse. You know, worse.
So yeah, we're doing worse drugs.
Yeah, we she never did weed in her life. She's
Okay.
we both of us weren't about drugs at all. Like when we met, we just she was an executive and I was working in the chemical plants,
Mm-hmm.
and we were just living, you know, sober, having a great, you know, living a great life. And but at the same time, you know, she had a second life where she was doing behind my back. And so somebody told me I heard about this drug back then, crystal meth.
Mm-hmm.
And you hear how it's a sex drug, and you hear how, you know, it makes everything better,
Mm-hmm.
As in a sex wife.
Mm-hmm.
And I told myself I'm doing everything I could as a man, and I can't keep my wife mine. Let me try to, maybe if we go down, I know she liked to party when she did party. I know she liked a certain thing. Let me introduce us to this and see where it takes off.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it took us to hell.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
it took me to dance with the devil. And it did that. And in return, the person closest to me and my wife at the time got hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And we couldn't protect her.
Mm-hmm.
And so I wasn't able to protect this person.
Mm-hmm.
And so I buckled as a man. And I blame myself. So I try to kill myself.
Mm-hmm.
We were that drug
Methamphetamine
was I always say this, and excuse my language. That drug is so strong it can make Mother Teresa a whore. And that's true.
Right.
And I don't know what it does.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I don't know what it does to women,
Mhm.
but it makes them make choices and sleep with people and just do things that you'll never even eventually. As an addict, you have this thing called a day of reckoning.
Mm-hmm.
Where you wake up one day and you're just like, holy, everything you've done, it will hit you. No matter when, where, or how, it's gonna hit you. And anyways, so I wasn't strong enough.
Mm-hmm.
I did try to kill myself, and when you try to kill yourself, you not only do they charge you with a crime if you really try to kill yourself, they put you in a psych ward.
Right.
I did
But to protect yourself, though, man, right?
Man, look,
to protect. That's from what I understand. I
yeah,
don't know.
and it is.
Right.
It is. But at the same time,
Yeah.
the more I'm saying I'm not crazy, the more they're putting restrictions on me. And the guy next to me is like really crazy, he's like stabbing himself with a pencil, and he's getting like privileges.
Right.
He's like, the guy's like, look, the more you say you're crazy, the more they're gonna give you. So eventually, you know, I just played the part, but I wasn't crazy. I was a good guy. I was a good man, and the person who was hurt was the person I loved most in the world, and I couldn't protect her. As a dad, as a person, you just want to, you know.
Right. No, I follow you. But let me ask you something. Did you say that you introduced her to meth? And did you feel guilty after a while?
No,
introducing
God, no.
her to it?
I mean, well, you know what? Actually, now that you asked that question,
Or did I understand you wrong?
I'm gonna be real with you. Now that you asked that question, yeah,
You did introduce her to
no. Did I introduce? I don't know her background that well to say what I did or didn't.
No, what I'm saying, maybe I misunderstood. I'm trying to.
I introduced us again. I mean, I brought it into her life with me.
The meth.
Yeah, I don't know what her life was before me.
No, right.
You know, so I can't say I introduced her to it. But I know she was doing harder shit than I was whenever we met her. When I met her, you know, she was busting lines, and I wasn't doing anything.
Right.
And at the time, really wasn't.
Right.
But I've been able to just be the life of the party. I've been able to be the life of the party without having to get fucked up, messed up, you know. But after I try to kill myself and I get released, and I wanted to numb the pain, and I jumped on synthetic. At the time, I was extremely successful in the chemical plants, and I just wanted to numb the pain. I didn't know how to. I think the biggest problem, they say the first step in addiction is admitting that you have a problem, and I don't think that's right. I think the first part of addiction is admitting what the problem is, because we can all overcome, we can all stop, and we can
say that again.
The first step is admitting that you have a problem,
right?
And I think the first step is to admitting what the problem is.
But I'm going to have to disagree with you. Okay.
Yeah, and that's great.
No, I'm going to didisagree with you because here's the thing. What I do solely believe, I do truly believe that the first steps towards recovery, Bruce, It's accepting that there's a problem. Look, here's the thing.
We all know there's a problem.
No, we don't know. Some of us don't know.
Man,
Some
come on,
of
some of us are like messed up. And
Bruce, some of us, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to have to, and I'm going to have to disagree with you because I truly believe on this, man. Because some of us are running through life thinking this is normal. Some of us think, some of us think, look, some of us think that living that lifestyle and living that it's normal, completely normal. Look, because we saw our parents do it. Look, like alcoholics. Look, me, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about my growing up, man. I love my dad. God rest his soul. My dad's no longer with us, but when my mom and dad, and I think I explained this to Raul, my mom and dad would never, like, they would go to, back then, they would go to dance to local dances, and I knew it, dude. Once when they went, I knew they were gonna fucking argue when they came back. And my mom would bye. She'd be talking her shit. I love my mom, but I mean, she's and my dad would tell her, "That's enough." That's enough. And then, man, do you know what? And my dad, boom, he would, he get to the point where he would kind of backhand her, man. And my mom would kill. And we'd be like, Mom, please shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? But I knew it. Now, dude, when you're raised in that environment and you see that the alcohol, right? You're exposed to it, man. I was exposed to that bullshit. And I'm going to tell you something, man, to a certain degree or certain, I was kind of mimicking what my father, I saw him doing. So I thought that was normal.
I wanted to fight my dad.
Right. So it comes to this, man. Look, that to me, and I sincerely believe that the first step to recovery is recognizing that there's a problem. Once you recognize there's a problem, that's step one. Look.
But don't you think the guy who hits his wife sits there and says, hey, I promise you, I know, because it's conscious. It's your conscience. We all know that we do.
But we're talking about two different things. We're talking about
that's the same thing.
No, it's not the same thing. I have to disagree. There's spousal abuse, which is abuse, and then there's drug abuse. There's two different things.
Let me say something different.
Right.
Let me rephrase it then.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Don't you think the addict who just put that needle in his arm at one point, he's like, this isn't right? At one point, we all know as an addict, at least from my experience and experienced people, there's always a point when you're using. Even if you're born, it's called, what you're talking about, socialism. And socialism is being brought into an environment and that not knowing that something's different. That's all you know. That's it's socialism. I have
to take your word for it. I don't know. Okay.
Being born knowing to say the N-word, a country, and you're gonna say the N-word, and that's all you know. That's how the environment you brought in. That's how you brought up. I think at one point the addict always knows, like, man, this isn't right. Even if he sees it growing, like. Something in you tells you, man.
Well, Bruce, by the time, at least, I don't know. I can't speak for no other addict. All I can do is speak my experience. Yeah. I speak, and anytime I speak either with addiction or recovery, all I can share is my experience. Well, and look, I'm going to tell you something. My experience on what I experienced. I can't tell you how you, now, the way we, in the meetings and in the groups, what we say is that we recognize the differences, right? We don't, not the differences, but the similarities in our recovery or in what we went through. You know what I mean? Now, I'm going to tell you, just like you said, that a certain drug makes people do things that they're ashamed of. Look, man, I told Raul one time, man, I did some horrible shit, dude. And I do agree that, the drug of my choice, okay, which was cocaine, and then it came into crack cocaine and smoking it, man. I fell in love with it. And I did some despicable shit that I could never say online. In fact, I probably couldn't tell other people. Or I even had some thoughts that I was disgusted in myself, Bruce. Look, I had some thoughts to me that came through my mind that I would go, holy shit. And I was going to do that for, because I was out. I was out of, I was out of stuff, man. And I'm going to tell you something. And whoever has ever been addicted and has ever been addicted to drugs, I was going to say real drugs, but all drugs are the same. But to me, heroin, methamphetamines, crack, cocaine, those are highly addictive drugs. Okay. So I'm going to tell you something, man. And let me tell you a story. And I think I told Raul this one time, bro, that, my girls that were little, she just walked in here and walked out. But when they were little, man, in the peak of my addiction, right? My daughters their mom worked at night and I used to watch the girls, right? Watching the girls to me was putting them in front of the TV and feeding them ramen noodles so I can be in the garage blaring up. Right. So their mom would come home from work, right? If she was doing a shift at the hospital, and one time she'd come home, she's like, hey, and I had been spending hours in the garage, right? This was like 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. And she says, hey, have the girls eaten? And I'm like, yeah, they ate. She knew that eating for me meant that they ate ramen noodle soups,
Yeah.
right? She's like, well, let's take them to McDonald's anyway. I said, well, let's go. I had like $20-something. I had like $28 left. I don't know, $20-something left, right? So we go and we get out. And I remember getting out of the car, and when I got out of the car, remember when Walmart had the McDonald's in it right here on 35? That's where we went. And so we get out, and I'm walking, right, and my shorts are falling. I had lost so much weight. I had lost like 100 and something pounds. I remember holding my shorts up and walking in with the girls, and we're gonna go to the McDonald's, and we walk up to the front, man. And I remember there's a big mirror on that McDonald's, man. And we ordered, and the girls were like, "Hey, two Happy Meals, right? 2 Happy Meals." They wanted a Happy Meal with drink, and I was calculating in my head how much it was, man. And they wanted cheese, and I was like, no, man. I was gonna go over. I needed that $20 bill, because my dealer was not going to come if I didn't have at least a 20, right? $20 bill. So I was like, no fucking cheese, man. No cheese. Excuse me. I was like, I remember going, no. And my daughter, my youngest, was like, I want cheese. She started crying. And I was like, no goddamn cheese. And I looked over, dude, my face was all sunk in. It was sunk in. I had lost so much weight. I looked over at the mirror, because the lady was just sitting there looking at us. And I looked at the mirror like that. And I was like, and I just played back everything that went on. Dude, I was like, what did I become? But you know what? Before that, Bruce, I was shutting down restaurants, Raul. I was renting restaurants for $5,000 for my birthday. I was inviting friends. I mean, I was financially secure before I started smoking crack. You know what I mean?
It happens that quick.
Classic cars, money, prestige, everything. When I looked in that mirror to see what crack cocaine did to me, man, and how my daughter's crying at me, go, no, you can't have no cheese, dude. You know what? I felt this little, oh man, right there and then when I looked at myself in the mirror and what had just happened,
you knew.
I was like, dude, I became the worst person I could think of. And you know what? Right there, dude, I started crying that my ex, and she's my ex today, dude, she grabbed the girl. She said, no, come on, girls. No. Don't worry about it, man. We're sorry. We're leaving. And I couldn't stop. I was, you know what I mean? She goes, come on, let's go. And we left, and I'm going back to the car, holding my pants up still, and I get in the car. You know what I do when I fucking get home?
Like the car.
I order a hit. You know what? That's the disease, man. That's what my disease took me. That's where my disease took me.
But
Bruce.
going back, that's exactly what I just said. We all know as an addict, eventually it hits us. So we know we're powerless. Yeah. But I really think the first step to addiction and then recovery. How about that? The first step to recovery is identifying why you're an addict. Because we can all say, I got a problem. I got to stop. Eventually we all hit that, and that could be the first step.
Here's the thing.
And I think the biggest thing that we make mistakes as is we lose focus of why we're using.
We accept that there's a problem. And as we start working on recovery, we start identifying what's causing us to either relapse. Okay. Because look, man, we just had this on last time, Raul. Is relapse part of recovery? In the beginning, Bruce. I was like, no, man, you got to be strong. We got to. But you know what, man? But listen, dude, it is part. I changed my mind. It is part of, because you know what? To me, I strongly believe that the more times you fall, every time you get up, you get stronger. You get stronger, but you have to get up.
Look, here's my thing about recovery and what I've learned. And look, I was hooked on the worst drug known to man. I don't care what anybody says.
Love? You were hooked to love?
Turn the camera off. I quit. I'm leaving. All of us, God knows. The dad left us broken.
Right?
I've been rehab for drugs. I was married.
I know, that's right.
Actually,
women.
You know what? It's funny. When I woke up in the psych ward, they go, "What are you here for?" I go, "I'm married." And they're all laughing.
Yeah.
They're like,
You do.
Yeah. Like, damn, that's why I'm here. It's the truth, people. So if you're thinking about it, people, really think about it.
Yeah.
Really know the person. 5 years, that's when you start to know.
At least.
You know what I mean? Okay, but speak about love. That's the number one thing I think that people mess up on. Is that you're in this recovery treatment with all guys, and then you come out so thirsty. Like, I mean, I did like almost like months, and I come out and don't get in a relationship. I think these are. I saw one of your biggest regrets. My biggest regrets is I got in a relationship right out of rehab, and I was with her for 8 years. Great woman, but she helped me.
Was she an addict? Was she a recovering addict?
Okay, after my divorce, after what happened, with treatment and everything, I couldn't stop using. So let's get back. This is what I guess what I'm here for today is a synthetic. People laugh at synthetic. And I think synthetic is the worst drug man has ever made. I mean, Hitler made methamphetamines. You look at the history of meth, that's who made meth for soldiers. But and you think, well, Hitler, that's the worst. No, but synthetic is because it's so commercialized. It's sold over the counter. At the time in 2012, I couldn't kill myself, so I was smoking that, and I'll take one hit and I'll black out. I was using it so bad where I tell my dog, look away. My teeth are curved because I was smoking out of a 5/8 socket because I was smoking the plants. Because I hold the socket with my teeth, and you can see them. It's curved because I was smoking so much. I was trying to quit it. I realized, like you said, we realized we're powerless. I couldn't stop, you know. And I tried to quit, and these doctors at the time were like, actually not doctors, but every single, I would say because 90% of the treatment centers we went to, the person, the mother of my children, she was with me. She saw that my fight. She saw that I was trying to get clean, and so she would go around to all these places with me, and we were trying to get clean, and people would laugh at us. People would say, "There's no way you can be addicted to that. You're crazy." And yeah, I'm crazy, but I was trying to get off this drug, and I couldn't. I really could. So one day she's like, she secludes me to where I have to get off it. I went to renal failure and kidney failure, and the doctor was like, I mean, I'm shitting blood. I'm throwing up blood, and my kidneys literally go into kidney failure. Well, and they're talking about dialysis at one point, and the doctor's like, "Look, man, until we can figure out how to either medically coma induce you or figure something out, you have to stay on this drug." And nobody would believe us, and so the treatment centers would kick me out, and then they send me to the crazy house, and the crazy house was like, "Man, you're not crazy, you're just an addict. Get out of here," and they send me out of there too, and so it was like a fight, man. And I remember one day I gave up, and I was like, look, I can't. I'm using it in front of my child. Everyone who knows me knows I'm a great dad, and now I'm hurting my baby even worse. You know, she's depending on me to be there after what she just went through, and I'm not. And so I remember I'm sitting on my bed with my 380, and I have it loaded, and I'm ready to go, and I just hear like a knock. Hey man, hey, banging. Like, why won't you answer the phone? It was the mother of my ex. And she was like, such and such been trying to get a hold of you. Why won't you answer? And I'm just like, man, I said, I can't, I don't want to live no more. She saw the gun, she slapped the shit up, bam, slapped the hell out of me. Like, you're a coward and this and that. And so, you know, I pick up the phone and I said, what do you want? She's like, I found a place in California that will scholarship you. And they put me in a medically induced coma for 3 days until, like, had me hooked up and to where my body had to wing itself off it. It was so bad. My addiction was so bad. I went to California with it hidden in my swim shorts. That's how, like you said, it takes you places that you don't ever think. That was my drug of choice, synthetic. It was the only thing that ever really grabbed me to bring me to dance with the devil. I mean, I brought it to the treatment. I was rolling a joint in the backyard, and I remember telling myself, I'm here to stop it. You know, and because I was going into that coma the next day, and I was like, I'm here to stay. And I remember my ex would always tell me, this is true about addicts. You can give your drug to your person all you want to throw away, and you can give it to your spouse and your loved one. Yeah, I can't do it no more. Take it, you know. But my ex would always tell me, it's until you want to throw it away. You know, as an addict, look, if you're out there watching, if you really want it, man, if you really like, when I went to recovery, check this out. I was on probation, and I violated a felony probation. And I had federal marshals come out to try to arrest me because I was so thirsty to get hungry, to get clean, that I violated my federal parole to go get clean. I said, and they said, look, I just had back surgery, so excuse me. They told me if you go, we're gonna arrest you. I said, I don't care. There comes a point as an addict where you want it so bad that no more excuses come up. No more like, oh well, tomorrow, or like, oh, I'm just, man, maybe tomorrow. Oh, it hurts, still hurts. And for me, it was like, I'm done. I was so done. I wanted to get clean so bad, and nobody here would help me because it was such a new drug. And nobody, even to this day, when I tell people synthetic, they kind of laugh. And man, I messed with some of the hardest stuff. Never done coke, but I messed with some hard stuff, and nothing was like that. I had a pill addiction. I was taking 20 Lorcets, 20 Somas at one point. And I quit that like that. But synthetic really, it killed my best friend.
So what did you do to get off the meth? What did you do on that? Did you go through recovery?
No, I just saw that what it did to people.
So you stopped on your own.
Yeah. I mean, For me, that was that drug was a sex drug. I mean, if you do it, it's Adderall. I mean, it's legalized. I just don't. People want to sit here and be like, oh, I do Adderall. I do this, but math. Are you crazy? It's the same thing. It's the exact same thing. But for me personally, I saw what it did to the people I love closest, and that drug alone. The more you're on it, you get gritty. You get nasty. You get you don't take care of yourself. You get lost in it. Yeah, and it's gritty. It just wasn't. It's not something that my personality likes. Right. You know, I'm very clean. I'm very I like to take care of myself. You know, and then you start losing focus of priorities. I guess. I guess what happened to that person I spoke about, really closest to me, what happened to my ex-wife. I lost my world because of that drug, and so I was like, that alone was enough for me to never like. I don't want to say never because I had messed with that throughout my time to lose weight, and just I have relapsed on that multiple times. But synthetic for me was something that I couldn't stop. I guess to be very honest, I had so much trauma with the other drugs, and I just didn't. I was like, ugh, like no. When I got back from rehab, I still relapsed. You know, and which led to Raul picking me up from jail.
So tell us about that, Raul, or jump on in and Raul anytime you want. Would you get any questions? Yeah,
I'm just listening, bro.
I mean, so tell us something about your school times or any experiences you've had with Bruce or Bruce, you with Raul.
I tell you one thing that happened, man.
Okay.
You know, in 2015, no, this was in 2017, no, 2017.
You picked me up from jail from. No, it was 15, 16, 15, because I got arrested at 15, and you picked me up to 15, so it was around the 15th when that happened.
Yeah.
2015. No, is that what you're talking about, 2015?
Yeah, it was right before I got in trouble.
Somewhere around there.
Yeah, okay, so
Oh, was he with you in the yard? That yard where they stopped you? Was he with you?
No.
You remember that story you told us about when you that he came back with you? He stopped you, right? That cop stopped you, and then he found you again in somebody's yard, right? It's like you again.
I was in a reservoir.
Yeah.
A 4x4 truck, man.
Yeah.
That's another.
That's
a story.
That's another story. Yeah, we haven't finished that one either.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
Man, I needed help, dude. I reached out, man. I said, you know, I was tired, man. I was mentally, physically, and emotionally exhausted. And I didn't want to be there no more. Right. I said, you know, I'm done. I'm tired.
You didn't want to be where? What are you talking about?
I didn't want to be here no more.
Oh, here.
When you're ready to go, you're ready to
go.
Yeah.
You know?
And you know, I kind of like said my goodbyes. And he texted me and was like, where you at? And I told him where I was at.
You got scooters. I'm 35.
Yeah. He came and knocked some sense into me, man, and was there for me when I needed the help. And for that, I am forever grateful.
Yeah. He was there for me too. Look, okay. Remember when the Kyle guy died? The military guy died? The sniper?
Chris Kyle.
Chris Kyle. Okay. So that stuff just went down, and you know, I'm fresh out of rehab. You know, I'm still on that kick because when you're fresh out of recovery, you could tell them people they got like 50 wristbands, and they're just like preaching their life. You know, 50 meetings in 50 days, and you know, like that's. We'll speak about that later, but you know, and that was me, and I really wanted to change the world and show the world that you could, you know, overcame this drug so vicious, and so he actually he was ballsy. He was like, you know what, man, I'm ready to go tonight. Like he put it out there. I'm ready to go. And he's like, if no one shows up tonight, I'm ready to go. And I knew nobody was going to show up because one, he's a military vet. And he, of course, he was wounded. And like, so my mind's thinking, man, this fool, he has the balls to do it. And I've seen people get killed in front of me. I've seen extreme violence. And then, you know, these people who just don't care, who when they're ready, they're ready. So I told him, the person I was with, the mother of my children, I said, man, I need to go be with him. And she's like, don't go. She's like, this guy can kill you. And I was like,
he'll fuck you up and him. Both of y'all be gone.
Yeah, he'll kill you. And I knew it too. Look, something inside. And I told this earlier today with him. I said, look, I got no fears, no phobias. And that's true about me. I used to be a steel worker, and nothing scares me in life. But I was scared that night because I was like, this. I can get. I thought he could shoot me easy. I thought when I showed up, he was so drunk and so out of it. Well, he was ready to go. And at one point, he reached under his seat because he had this Jeep, this weird looking like truck or something. It was a stick shift. And I couldn't get the keys from him at first. But then he dropped him. I thought he was going for a gun.
Yeah.
And I knew right there. I was like, man, this was gonna kill us both. Like,
no, he's gonna focus us both.
Because look, you could feel people's energy.
Sure, no, absolutely.
And you just, I felt, at least for me, I have some type of, I don't know, I could feel him, and he was dead.
Mm-hmm.
He was he was ready, and his cousin was there, and and even the owner of the place, Scooters on 35, who was like, look, I'm a vet myself, and this and that, my son died or whatever, and he was like, but this guy, it's too much, and like, get him out of here. And so I showed up for him, and and I just wanted him to know. I took him home, I put him in his bed, and just for his service and just alone, man, I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for him. And how selfish of addicts. We're the most selfish people in the world. All we think about is I is the number one priority in an addict's life. And then we failed to realize people like him who push their life out there at the time where I'm over here out here with females and getting all messed up. This guy's putting his soul on the line for me. So I figured I'm gonna give it back to him. I've done enough bad in my life where maybe at the time where if I give back something like that, he'll let me in. But I'm glad to be there. I lost my friend, my best friend killed himself last week. He was on a binge, and he showed up to my house to do some work for me, and he jacked me for some money. He cashed out him some money for my phone while I was in the restroom, and it's like my brother, and closer to my brother, and he called me up to say he was sorry, and he pulled the trigger, but he didn't hang up the phone. And this is last week. So for you suicide people out there, quick message. You will leave more carnage behind than you ever think. Than because I was ready to go myself many times. But after that, I really realized like what you do, you're leaving more pain than ever.
Right.
If you addicts out there, look, touch it back on the recovery part, you're gonna mess up. You're gonna mess up once. You're gonna mess up twice. You're gonna have people turn their back on you over and over again, but just keep going. Get up, man. Get up, because the more you fall, I promise you, the easier it will get. And you can say, how is it easier? Like this last year, I had an accident that left me homeless. I'm raising 2 kids by myself. I lost everything. I went through a fall happened, and this legal stuff going on right now, but I went through a fall, and it broke my back in 2 places. It herniated 5 discs. And I could honestly look at you in your eye and tell you I did it with no narcotics. No narcotics, not one narco, not one painkiller, not one anything. I had the only thing that had through this whole process, they fused 5 discs at 4 levels. It took me up until this moment as we speak. That's why you see me squirming, is because I'm in extreme pain. I'm still on leave, but I've done it drug-free. And I don't think that me falling down in the past to learn to get back up I wouldn't be able to do it today if it wasn't for all those relapses. If it wasn't for me messing up and continuing, because every time I get up, I try to think what caused me to relapse. Why did I relapse? It's all about self, inventory.
So let me ask you something. I'm gonna ask you something semi-personal, probably not too personal, but kind of personal. What do you think about a higher power?
Okay. Lately,
now I'm not asking you about God. I'm asking you about a higher power. Okay. How do you being in knowing, experiencing recovery and experiencing the rehabs and stuff like that? Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
So when I killed myself, I was in a psych ward, and this is on everything I love. This really happened. I was in a psych ward, and this crazy guy would come up to me, and he was like, "Hey man, I don't know who you are, man, but he was like, you need to read Proverbs." And I was like, "Man, get the fuck out of my face!" And I pushed his ass on the ground and like, "Man, get your Bible out of my face!" And like, "Man, fuck God, I hated God. Like you're supposed to protect your children." But yeah, I didn't understand it. You know what I mean? And my faith is still rocky right now, but I do have it. But this story right here keeps me binded to it. So the next day he comes back, man, and he slams it. I'm in my bunk, and he slams the book in my chest, and I'm just like,
the Bible.
And I'm just like, I'm like, hey man, he's like, hey man, I don't know who you are, man, but just you gotta read this, man. Like he's just top the voices, man. You gotta please, man. I'm just like, all right, man, whatever, dude. So I leave, I leave the Bible kind of my chest, because I'm in my bunk,
You're chilling, you're relaxing. I'm chilling,
and I black out, I pass out, and I wake up, and I know every single thing. What I hear is, my child, the trespassers she's brought into your home, but do not seek vengeance on them, for I will seek vengeance for you. Chain these words to your heart like a newborn chains his mother's words to its own heart. But my child, do not seek vengeance. Do not seek your way back to that threshold, for the trespassers she has brought into your home while you are out seeking goods for your family. Be the man that I sought you to be, my child. For if you stay this man, I will set you free from this dwelling. And it says all that verbatim in Proverbs. If you go through it, onto the adulterous woman action. And I didn't read none of that. Okay. So this was like, I woke up with this knowledge in my head.
Okay.
And I didn't know anything. I read the Bible here and there, like in jail. You know, I was locked up a couple of times, but I never really dug into it. And so I woke up with this knowledge in my head, and this all of a sudden, you know, but it tells you, but also to finish up, he says, I woke up with this, for a woman can tear down the 7 strongest kings of the 7 strongest kingdoms, my child, but do not let her tear you down. Be the man that I sought you to be, for if you say this, man, I will set you free from this dwelling. And I woke up to that, man, and I read it. And when I read Proverbs, it was all there. Everything that I heard and how I maybe cited it to you right now could be a little off, but it's all there. Everything he said, you know, so God, so whoever high power, he knows what love can do to you, you know, and so all of a sudden this wave washed out of me, that of peace, of calm, that my ex didn't have power over me no more, and I was actually released the next day, the very next day. And so who picks me up? My ex. And I know that she was involved of what happened to the person closest to me get hurting. I know that she was on drugs. I know, but I still believed in marriage. I married her twice. I loved her so much. So we're in Bayberg Mall. The same day we're walking, and this priest walks right behind me. And he comes back. He does the UE, and he grabs my arm, and he says, man, I don't know who you are, where you come from, but something is telling me to do not seek your way back to that threshold. Be the man that he sought you to be, because he does not want to burn those coals on your head. And this guy doesn't. This guy doesn't know who I am. It's a real priest with a collar. And I'm saying, he's like, to be honest, so he was like, and he starts talking to me this morning. I don't even know why I'm here. And he was like, but when I walked by you, something told me, you know, to tell you this. Now, I don't know if there's a God. The things I've been through in my life, like, I believe, look, my idea of higher power is like, we messed up enough. Where he stepped back and told the devil, do what you want to do. I bet you they'll still love me, but do what you want to do. And I think we're in an age right now where, because if you look at our God, Old Testament, New Testament is BS. I don't care what anybody says. It's written by 200 years past Christ. All of our laws, the Holy Doctrine, the Father, Son, Holy Spirit, written by Constantine, a man. None of our holy doctrines are real. It's all written by a man. So if you really dig into religion, it's more about Buddhism, karma, the energy you're putting out, for what I'm realizing as an addict. An addict is, for me, as an addict, I'm realizing the shit you put out there is what you're going to get back. You know,
right? Absolutely.
That's my religion. What I'm experiencing, guys. I haven't seen no miracles. Maybe the story I just told you, maybe that is a miracle. Maybe that's coincidence. But that keeps me knowing that there is a high power. You know,
right on. So hey, we didn't finish your story, Raul. You were saying something. We were talking about. You were sharing a story with us, or sharing a whatchamacallit about you and him.
No, that was it.
He picked you up from you picked him up from jail.
No, that's a different story.
Right.
Yeah.
That was after that. You know, that was after my relapse. You know?
Okay. All right.
And, you know, and after I was arrested for that, because I woke up in a field in Alvin, I took one hit, and I was after treatment, and I messed up, and my baby mother was like, "Hey, man, I'm leaving you. I'm done." You know, and at the time, I didn't want to leave.
And she was done because of your drug abuse, because of the synthetic drug.
Look, during this recent trauma, I mean, it has been just me and my kids. My ex is extremely has a great job, but physically, she's been there with money wise. She's helped us, but physically,
and she's the mother of your children,
of the two, my 4-year-old and 5-year-old.
Right. You're the parents of them.
Yeah, but it has been just us three, and and I don't blame her for leaving, because the trauma that she's been through with me. You know, I put her through hell. I wasn't the man.
But she left the kids with you.
People change.
You're raising the kids.
People change, you know, and over the years I changed. And I'm not that punk I was. I tell people this all the time.
No. I'm not saying anything towards you or anything. No. I'm not saying anything about you. I'm saying because normally that's kind of odd. Usually, at least for me, most of the time the women take the kids with them.
Yeah, you know.
Not in this case. She left the kids with you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Look, I think every parent out there will agree with this comment. Okay, you got two kind of parents. You got the provider and you got the nurturer, and that's part of the yin and yang of a relationship. You have two opposites of people. That's how most people come together, because you're opposites. And becoming opposites, you're gonna have opposite parents. Always, you're gonna have that one parent who's always gonna be, well, I'll put the food on the table. What the hell do I need to go play with them for, Jenny? Like, I'm doing everything else. Like, you go play with the kids. And then you got that one parent who's reading them bedtime stories, who's giving them baths, and who's, it's like corazón.
Yeah.
And, I don't know if it's. I don't want to put.
I didn't experience that in my home. My mom, they were both fucking providers.
both my parents weren't. Look, and my parents want to say some type of way. My brothers will agree with me on this. We didn't have parents growing up. My parents were really. My mom was successful, but she sacrificed her family.
Right.
You're gonna have to become that successful. You got to sacrifice something.
Right.
She sacrificed the time with her kids. She has made it up over the years. And the same with my dad. He worked night shifts. So we get off school, there's nobody to be there. And so we had providers, and I'm sure they wanted to be nurturers, but me seeing that growing up, I'm the middle of 6 boys. And so I was the one cooking, doing laundry, helping the housekeeper. So I was born. That's how I was. My upbringing made me that way, the nurturer, the provider, and so my ex, I think she knows I'm an amazing dad. She knows my trauma, and she knows that how strong I am. And I think with her leaving, she knows that no matter what I'll go through, I'll be a good dad, no matter what, because she knows that. At least I hope she knows, and that I'm gonna kick ass. That's the one thing. That's the one thing people can't take from me is from besides my degree, I'm about to get in 7 classes. Is that I'm a good dad. I'm a bad dad. I'm an amazing dad. I give it all I have every single day. I lay it all on the line. I'm single because of it. I want to be because I sacrifice every single thing for them. And I think her leaving, I think she needed to find herself, because she's been a mother all her whole life, and take care of my dumb ass. And I think she's tired. And I don't blame her. A lot of people, I get a lot of hell from people who are like, I can't believe she just left. Like, oh my God. But I think, as this is speaking to all the people who've dealt with addicts, it comes a time where you're just like, I'm fucking done. I'm done. I can't deal with this no more. Even though you're not drug related, I'm done.
So she's not an addict. She's not. She didn't do drugs either. She's.
I can't speak on her life like that, because there are some things I want to put out there about her recently. But.
Well, you don't have to get specific. I'm just trying to set the platform of what y'all was using, or no?
Oh no! Look, my ex. No matter how I feel about her right now, she's an amazing woman, brilliant mind. She's on the verge of being a doctor, pretty much.
So she's not an addict.
No, well, okay. If she is, she's hiding it. But look, let me tell you something about addicts. This guy right here can sit here completely normal. I can sit here fidgeting, but he be the addict. Addicts come in all sizes, different shapes and sizes. I mean, my first wife.
Man, I'll tell you what, I can spot a fucking addict a mile away. I tell you that much. Shit.
Just like you can spot them, I guarantee you, there's so many that you don't even know.
I'm not guarantee you I do. Shit, I guarantee you. Look, I'm gonna tell you, man. I've been fucked up all my life, Bruce. And when an addict walks in the door, I catch this motherfucker. I mean, this just look, man. I'm gonna tell you. No, I have another disagreement, dude. I'm gonna tell you. There's a certain thing about it. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, do you think 2 people could be married without one person never finding out the other person was using?
Say that again.
Do you think it's physically possible that like me and you were married and we break up and that you never knew that I was an addict?
Yeah, well, we've heard stories of that.
So then it is possible. You can meet people.
There's people telling us
that you'll never suspect. Even my first wife. Me and my first wife.
There's stories like that 2 people were married.
We've had a couple of guests that
told us. Wait, really? Wait up, baby. Like, I'll show you. I can show you a lawyer right now in Brazoria County. I can show you 2 lawyers.
Look at the screen.
Who go in front of the judge every single day. This is true. Who my brother used to sell to. Like, come on, man. I mean, my brothers. You
don't remember?
No.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Which one are you talking about?
Yeah, look right here.
Okay.
You see the arrow?
Yeah, with our Evie. What did she say?
Shit.
Oh.
I wasn't trying to put it.
No, she's okay. What did
See, that's what she just said right now. She said, "I didn't know my husband was using for 10 years being married."
I'll show you somebody.
Where were you? Where were you?
No, you just don't know, man. As an addict,
I don't know, man.
Addicts. Look, this is true about every addict. We're the biggest con men in the world.
Yeah.
Addicts, we're the best salesmen. We're the greatest con. Come on, we're the greatest con.
Dude, I don't agree. I'm not gonna agree with that comment. There's no. They're not gonna commit. Listen. We have the right to agree to disagree.
No,
I'm not going to agree with it because I'm going to tell you something, bro. I'm going to tell you something.
See, he was a functioning addict.
Right.
Like,
okay, there's a difference. A functioning
no,
it's not the same thing. A functioning addict is an addict that uses and he functions. He can go to work.
Do you think he's an addict though? Really deep down, like
yes,
if he can handle shit, if he can, that's always question that. That's what I always question,
dude. Anytime, listen to me. Anytime that you have to use something to change the way you feel. Okay. Right. And I mean,
what if you're functioning and you're like she said,
there's functioning addicts and there's non-functioning addicts. The non-functioning ones are the ones that can't show up to work, can't keep up a relationship.
There's a difference.
You know what? Absolutely.
Really?
Between a functioning addict and a non-functioning.
Really? Okay.
Yes, absolutely. 100%.
She said he held his job and it wasn't
they hold their jobs. Yes.
It wasn't until he stopped that she had found out.
No. Well, I mean, I don't know. I don't know their situation, but I'm going to tell you something, dude. I'm going to tell you something. If my wife was using drugs, I'm going to fucking know.
What if you lost in your own spell and you don't know?
Huh? I'm lost in my own spell now, but I can tell you the bitch is fucking using something. That I'll tell you. Look, I'm super fucking busy. I ain't got time, but I'm gonna tell you something. Look, I'm gonna tell you something because an addict. Let me tell you something. The first thing fucking addicts do is they drain the fucking bank accounts. They're spending fucking money. And if you're you have listen, and this is just one of the telltale signs. I don't know where the hell anybody was, but I'm gonna tell you something right now. This is my opinion, right? If you're married to someone and you don't know they're getting fucked up, well, then you're probably not motherfucking married.
Exactly right. And that's what.
I mean, that's it. You're somewhere else and he's somewhere else, but I'm gonna tell you something.
She said
there's something wrong.
You could call bullshit a bullshitter.
An addict's a BS. That's the only way you can spot an addict when you're one too. Yeah, that's true. But look, at the time, you do get caught up in life. So you don't pay attention to me and Max towards the end we didn't love each other. So and we slept in separate rooms for like 2 years. For 2 years I slept in almost 3 years I slept in a separate room. She didn't want me to touch her. I did, and I guess looking back I couldn't blame her. So to this day I have had my speculations. Yeah, I did, and I didn't know, but I guess as an addict you tell yourself. Well, I did it, so fuck it. I had
this one guy. I was talking to this one guy. He was an addict, and it seems like this became a spouse subject, which is cool because it's part of recovery, part of addiction. Relationships and how they function and what happens and whatnot, right? But I had this one friend of mine that was he was married. They were married, and his wife she is an addict, right? But he was like, well, he was talking to me about this, and he was like, well, my wife, she keeps. We're having trouble in our marriage. We're sleeping in different, but she would check this out. She was like, she would always come up with this excuse of why that, she had to stay with her friend till 1 o'clock in the morning. And I was like, well, goddamn, I mean, come on, man.
But
you know what I mean?
You say that now because you are a recovering addict.
Right. Dude, if my wife, let me tell you something. My fucking wife is out somewhere 1 o'clock in the fucking morning with another man. Shit.
Well, I agree with you. I think
or in a hotel.
On that way, that was kind of stupid to believe.
Yeah.
But she says, look, which is also why one person can be completely unaware of their spouse.
They can.
One is an addict and one isn't. So if you don't know what the signs are and you were never introduced to drugs or alcohol.
Dude, I'm going to tell you something. Let me tell you what some people some people can accept. Look, let me tell you the two guys. Some people don't want to know. Some people know. A lot of people know there's something wrong, but some people cannot accept. They would prefer, listen to me, because my ex knew that I was using fucking drugs, but she didn't want to accept it because she didn't want, she tried to keep it together. And by not admitting that there was a problem, I had a problem with her because I said, you know what? You knew there was something wrong. Why in the fuck did you not stop me?
That's not her fault, though. That's not her fault.
It's not. No. I tried to blame her. I tried to. No, what I tried. No, yeah, I did. I did. No, I did. I'm not. Hey, I'm not even gonna lie. I did. But listen, I knew I told later on. I said, you know what? You knew there was something wrong. Why didn't you come to me? Why didn't you tell me, Ricky, what the hell's going on, man? What are you doing in the garage so long?
Oh, man.
You know what I mean? She just didn't want to accept it. Look, dude, some people just put their their head in the ground and pretend that nothing's going on.
I believe in that 100%.
You know what I mean? I do too. I do too. But you know what? I call bullshit on that. You do know something's wrong. Yeah. Some people don't want to admit it. Accept it. You know what I mean? Accept it. Just like that. Just like
okay,
some
let me
ask
you a question then. Real quick. Do you think by not accepting it, you become an enabler?
A fucking A. Really? Absolutely. Man. Absolutely. 100%. Look, man, they say, I heard the other day, in fact, somebody said, when you're nice to an addict, okay, you're an enabler. You're being an enabler.
That's rough though.
You know what I mean?
You need that niceness sometimes.
No, you don't. No, man. If when you're nice to an addict, you're gonna bury that addict.
Well, there's a difference between niceness and like how you explained it one time when you said take away their struggle.
Right.
You remember?
Yeah. Well, that's what I did that for somebody one time. And you know what? And then take away their pain.
Their pain. Oh, okay.
They told me because I went paying for this guy he went and broke into this house, a dear friend of mine. I'll leave his name out of it, David. But then I was like, bullshit, it wasn't David. I'll leave his name out of it, David.
Here's the boss.
Yeah. No, it wasn't David. His name wasn't David. But he got us in trouble. He relapsed and he broke into a house and he stole some shit. He got caught, right? And even the neighbors didn't want him around there anymore. But I went in and I manipulated the system. I knew some people. I went to the guy. He broke into his house and I paid him off. I said, "Come on, man. Look, he's a dear friend of mine. I'll get him out of this neighborhood. Here's some money for your loss, right? And I'm sorry he broke in." And I went and fixing all kinds of things, right? And when I was talking to an old timer, and I was telling, man, and I'm going to do this, and then he says, "Hey, Rick, let me ask you something. Who are you to deny him his pain?" He said, didn't you used to come into this meeting and tell us how your pain that you ran your recovery, your recovery was guided or was supported through pain because you remembered all the pain and the suffering that you went through. Who are you to deny him his pain? I was like, holy shit, man.
As you're saying that, look what was said. Who are you to take away anyone's pain? We have to feel it to realize that
she knows what's up. Yeah, but I don't agree with your bullshit with your husband, Evie. I don't care what you say.
I think it can happen.
You got to get Evie back, man.
I think it can happen. I think it can.
No,
let me see who baby the addict will bury. Look, this is what she said. I'll fight her. I'll fight her. What did we say, Evie? What did you say about that?
Look, let's go back to the higher power thing real quick.
Go ahead.
Real quick.
Oh man, and we're almost go ahead, keep going, man. We got almost running out of time.
No, you're good.
That's for another day, Evie. Another day. Yeah.
Look, the higher power thing. No higher power got me through my addiction.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't care what people say, like, "Oh, you saw that you had that thing just happened." You just said there was no God who came down here and said, "Nico, everything's gonna be okay. Let me guide you through this."
Right.
You got to get yourself out of it. Mm-hmm. And at the end of the day, it's you have to become more than your excuses. Mm-hmm. You have to become more than being tired of being an addict. Mm-hmm. And that's the only thing that's going to get you out of it is being sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Mm-hmm.
You're sick and tired of hurting people. You're sick and tired of using. And to me, your excuses have to outweigh your addiction. Mm-hmm. I mean, your vice versa. You know what I mean? Like you have to get tired of making excuses. For me, I went to jail. Mm-hmm. I did. They sent federal marshals to California to come get me. And the owner of the treatment place was like, I'm not gonna let him go. Mm-hmm. Like he's really wants to get clean, and they didn't. Like they kept me there. Mm-hmm. And the judge was like, "We're waiting for you." As soon as I landed, they took me right into custody. Mm-hmm. But that's how bad I wanted to get clean off synthetic. I mean, off that just to get clean for my kid. Mm-hmm. For you addicts out there, there is hope, man. I promise you, there's hope.
There is hope.
You know,
absolutely.
And recovery, you're gonna fall.
But you got to get back up. You got to get back up.
And here's the most important thing. This is the most important thing for me before we say goodbye.
Yes.
Who you let into your recovery is going to echo your recovery. And that person you let into that you're leaning on, make sure you're leaning on the right people and that you're letting the right people guide you, because at the same day, they're going to have some people are going to have hidden agendas. Some people are going to use that to buckle you even again to make you relapse.
Right.
So that people don't get in a relationship. And really, really, really watch the people you let into your circle whenever you're trying to get help, because those people, the same people you're letting in, that are guiding you out of that hole, and then they now know how to hurt you.
Right on. And with that, man, we're gonna call it a wrap, man, because I've got a meeting at 8:30. Yeah. Oh man, it was a great man. Hey man, I'm glad you came in, Bruce. Man, it was a good talking to you, but you brought us some really solid stuff, man. And you brought in a lot of controversy between me and our guest. That's all right, man.
Keep it real, man.
I like that, man. I like that we're able to Raul, I like this that we're able able to discuss, disagree, man, and agree and disagree, and it's cool, man. I
cool.
love that.
Right.
That's
You learn from each
awesome,
other.
man.
Definitely.
Absolutely. I really
Definitely.
dig that, man.
Man,
Thank you for inviting them, man.
Hey, I
Thank
didn't
you
even
for
have to
coming
say
in, man.
nothing this episode because
You know?
I was just listening
Yeah,
myself.
you was just back there laughing at all my
This man
bullshit.
is awesome.
Yeah,
Both these guys are
nah,
awesome.
man. You're back there going, nah, man, no shit,
Hit
no,
the button.
yeah. But anyway, we better call it a wrap, man. Hey,
All
go,
right, bro.
go,
Hey,
we'll
thank you,
close
guys.
this up.
Hey, as always, thank y'all for tuning in. Be sure to like us, share us, visit us. If you want to be a guest, be sure to let us know. Okay. We got thank you for sharing your story.
Yeah, definitely.
You got to feel the hill is what one.
Yeah, it's true. It's
Yeah.
true. You know.
And I want to get in the podcast with this guy.
Mm.
Oh, damn. I'd like to see that one.
Well, come on, man. We got to set it up. We got to set it up. Absolutely.
As
Absolutely.
always, you guys be sure to share it, and we'll catch you next time.
Right on, Cachetón.
Hey, Ricky,
All right. Hey, what's the closing?
the lie
He's dead. We do recover.